The Overseas Pharmacist Training Program, OPT, and the Overseas Pharmacist Readiness Assessment, OPRA, are two key components of the process for overseas trained pharmacists who wish to work as pharmacists in Australia. If you're an overseas trained pharmacist looking to practice in Australia, passing the OPRA is one of the important steps. Here's an overview of the process. The OPRA is designed for overseas trained pharmacists who want to register and practice as pharmacists in Australia. The assessment evaluates whether you have the necessary skills, knowledge, and competencies to work as a pharmacist in the Australian healthcare system. The OPRA ensures that overseas trained pharmacists meet the professional standards required to provide pharmacy services in Australia, ensuring safety and quality in patient care. The assessment consists of a written assessment, which includes multiple choice questions and may cover areas such as pharmaceutical knowledge, pharmacy law, ethics, and practice in Australia, and an objective structured clinical examination, OSCE, which is a practical, hands-on exam where you demonstrate your ability to provide pharmacy services, such as counseling patients, dispensing medications, and handling pharmaceutical products. You will be evaluated in clinical settings by trained assessors. To be eligible to sit for the OPRA, you must meet the following requirements. You must have a pharmacy degree from an accredited university or institution. If you obtained your pharmacy qualifications overseas, they will need to be assessed by the Pharmacy Board of Australia to ensure they meet Australian standards. You must demonstrate your proficiency in English, typically through tests like the IELTS or OET, as the exam will be conducted in English. You may need to show relevant experience working as a pharmacist in your home country, though this varies depending on the country of origin. Here is a general overview of the process you need to follow to practice as a pharmacist in Australia. Contact the Pharmacy Board of Australia to confirm whether your qualifications meet the Australian standards for pharmacy practice. You may need to undergo a training program designed to bridge any gaps in your knowledge or skills. This may include completing supervised practice in an Australian pharmacy. Once you meet all the eligibility criteria, you can apply to sit for the OPRA. This will assess your clinical knowledge, understanding of Australian pharmacy law, and practical skills. You must successfully complete both the written and practical components of the OPRA exam. Once you pass the OPRA, you can apply for registration with the Pharmacy Board of Australia. You will be granted registration to practice as a pharmacist in Australia. Before taking the OPRA, many pharmacists opt to complete preparatory courses or study materials that can help them become familiar with the Australian pharmacy practice and legislation. Resources might include understanding laws and regulations around dispensing medications, controlled substances, and patient privacy, practicing scenarios that test your patient counseling skills, dispensing procedures, and clinical decision-making, and reviewing formulas, dosages, and pharmaceutical calculations common in Australian practice. The Pharmacy Board of Australia has a detailed timeline for overseas pharmacists, which includes the application process, eligibility checks, OPT completion, exam preparation, and OPRA exam dates. The whole process can take several months, depending on how quickly you complete each stage and how well you prepare for the exams. Once you are registered as a pharmacist in Australia, you can work in various settings, including community pharmacies, hospital pharmacies, research and academia, and the pharmaceutical industry. The Overseas Pharmacist Readiness Assessment exam is a crucial step for overseas trained pharmacists who want to practice in Australia. Passing this exam requires a solid understanding of Australian pharmacy practice, law, and clinical skills. With adequate preparation and support, overseas pharmacists can successfully navigate this process and begin their careers in Australia's healthcare system.